during the fast, are we allowed to use or consume oils other than olive oil? I'm finding contradicting information, would like to know. What do we do with the various seed oils? Is that what you're asking, basically? Well, I don't think there's any specific canon, obviously, addressing this question. That's probably one of the reasons why there's a little confusion, because there's different people doing different things. And that's not surprising because they didn't exist. Seed oils didn't exist for the most part. They're a fairly phenomenon of our day. I can tell you that my understanding has always been that any oil, doesn't specify olive oil, by the way, but that's what they used in the ancient world. And so that's what the vast majority of the Mediterranean people use, is olive oil. And so that's the good news, because that's very healthy for you and necessary. And so what's the point? Why would somebody say, well, it's only olive oil and it's not seed oil? Why would somebody say that if the part of the ascetic struggle is to avoid cooking with oil, in other words, making it more tasty, being able to fry things, being able to put oil on your various salads and all that. Obviously that makes the fast easier, more enjoyable, more tasty. And so it's less of an ascetic struggle. And so if you're saying, well, it's only olive oil and we can just pour on avocado oil or whatever we prefer, I think you're choosing to walk a broader path. You're choosing a broader and easier, and your reward will be analogous. So, if you choose to do that, that's your call, I guess. People are free to do whatever they like, but is that really going to be the spirit? Is that the spirit of the fast? Is that the spirit of the struggle? Of course, there's no point in forcing others to struggle. There's no benefit in them being forced to struggle. Like that, just zero benefit, right? Really, maybe a very little benefit, but for the most part, virtue has to be voluntarily obtained, right? You struggle because you love Christ. Everything has to be done out of love for Christ. And so there's a certain degree of freedom here. And so if you understand what I said about the spirit of the fast, and that this was generally to avoid the, spending time and cooking and having an easier meal of it and all the rest, then you'll understand that it applies to all oil. There are people who say that olive oil is acceptable because it's out of the ground or something like this. I've heard different interpretations. It's clearly not the case. The scriptures, the patristic writings on the fast, it's definitely without oil during this great fast. So, I think the answer is no. Does not include it. But again, there's a little bit of wiggle room, and people are free. If they don't want to fast and they don't want to struggle, they're going to do that, and that's fine. But what are you going to do? That's the question. And how are you going to struggle? And so, the struggling more is usually, unless it's really undiscerning, is usually beneficial. And so I would say, if you want to be benefited, continue to struggle.